Hello and welcome to another edition of It's Just Our Opinion. I'm Ray Long, and I know you wish you was, but you're not. I am Ray Long. Thank you for tuning in. This is our 45th edition, and I know a lot of you are sitting there thinking, well, I've watched every one of them, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I have watched every one of them, and they've all been good. Now, you look down, I don't go to the bottom of the page and like my own pages, but you can. I'd appreciate it if you went down and clicked like on it. And even share it if you like it. Share it with your friends, your family, your neighbors. Hey, it's free to share it on Facebook, but it ain't free for me when I have to boost it. But anyway, thank you again for tuning in. Got some interesting stuff, at least I think it's interesting for you today. Seen the other day in the news, there is a local company in Cullman, Alabama. The name of it is HomeTex. Providing masks, these kind of masks right here. I mean, just like this one, to the United States Congress. They got the contract, a local company right here, like I say, in North Alabama. They'll be supplying all the masks. When you see a congressman or senator walking around, or some of the staff in the Capitol wearing masks, most of them are made right here in Alabama. Now, Congressman Aderholt is one of them that really pushed to help this HomeTex get this contract because it's in his district. But I'm proud because it's an Alabama company that's furnishing the face masks for all the congressmen, senators, and their staff. So right here, if you buy one in the areas up there, the souvenir shops or anything, they're gonna look something like this. Now mine has "Made in Alabama" on it, which it is made in Alabama, but we really want to push buying anything from Alabama because where's that? That's our state. So congratulations to HomeTex from Cullman, Alabama for getting the contract to supply the nation's capital with face masks. Another interesting thing is the census. Just a few weeks ago, Alabama was in last place in turning in your census papers and stuff. So, the DECA here, Alabama Department of Economic Affairs here, done a contest with counties trying to encourage counties to get people out to fill out their paperwork. They had they called it some kind of a bowl game or something where the counties that didn't really have a lot of people turning in their stuff, the lower ranked counties in the census, and so they offered them money to get out. So lo and behold, people believed that they needed to turn in that paperwork when they started having money involved in it for the counties. So now Alabama is not in last place anymore. Not in last place. They have moved up, and 99.9% of the people have done their census work now in Alabama. And that's a big help. I know a lot of people think, well, why does the census matter? Because so many federal dollars depend on the populations of each state, as far as transportation, schools, medical, all that's based on population of each state. We was real close to losing a congressional seat. That would have been terrible. That would have cost us millions of dollars because we need all the people that we can get in Washington, D.C. fighting for Alabama. And so I just want to say congratulations to everybody that got out and worked hard to get people to turn their census papers in. Now we're not done, 99.9, that's an A+, but wouldn't it be great if we went ahead and got that 100%? So far, as of this morning, no state had 100% participation. But Alabama went from very last all the way up to, I think right now we're ranked about 23rd. And so that's pretty good. That is really good. And so thank you for that because that helps all of us here in Alabama. Noticed some sad news last night. I know everybody remembers John McCain. John McCain was a senator from Arizona for years, run for president a few times. Actually was the Republican nominee against President Obama a few years ago. Of course, he didn't win, but at least he was a Republican nominee. And he died. He died a year or so ago. But his mother, Roberta Wright McCain, died yesterday at the age of 108. 108 years old. Now, she'd lived a long life, and anybody that had watched her during the campaigns when Senator McCain was running for president, saying she was very active, always traveling around and speaking for him, and was just a lovely lady that was just really made you smile when you see her and seen her out working and campaigning and stuff. But Roberta Wright McCain, at 108 years old, died. So that was sad. You know, my wife and I, we don't watch a lot of TV. And I know some of y'all watch and think, well, no, you don't watch TV because you're on Facebook all the time. But anyway, we don't watch a lot of TV, just like some of y'all probably don't. But we got into a show here about a month ago. It's an old show. It's called Downton Abbey. Now, it's over in England. You know, they go to London a lot and all this. It's back in the late 1800s to early 1900s. And you know, there were 6 seasons of it. And so we started watching that thing. We'd started out watching it, and we'd watch 1 or 2 shows a night. And then we just got thinking, you know, we hate to turn it off because it was so good. And so we just kept watching it and kept watching it. And, you know, it's so neat to hear the accent. You know, we try to talk like that sometimes. We got people that want to be British when they want to talk, because it's kind of different. It don't sound like ours, but we just loved it. It was just really neat. These people, I mean, they were just rich, royal people, you know, and it just made you see how rich folks in England live. And believe me, they really lived this way. They had the servants, the maid hands, and all that stuff. All the people that I wouldn't want at my house, because really my house ain't big enough for that. Time we get the kids and the grandkids in our house, it's full. We sure don't need no maids and butlers and all that. But it's really neat. If you get a chance, pull that up and watch the old movies. Downton Abbey. There were 6 seasons. We finished them in about a month's time. Okay, we just talked ourselves into it. We sat there one night till about probably 2 in the morning watching these things, and then after all that was said and done, they had a movie come out. We watched it a few nights ago about that, when the king and queen comes to visit Downton Abbey. And you know, it's just really neat. If you're just looking for good, clean movies to watch, that is a good one. Remember, Downton Abbey. Like I said, we loved it. Another interesting thing that I think is interesting anyway is I don't know about y'all, and a lot of my family don't like it, but I love mayonnaise and banana sandwiches. I love them. I just love them. Now, we got some of the grandkids that don't love them. They don't even like to think about mixing a banana and mayonnaise together. It just kind of makes them just feel eerie, like, you know. But now, one of our grandsons' trip a few years ago when he was younger, he got to eating mayonnaise. He would eat just mayonnaise and bread with me. We just make mayonnaise and bread sandwiches. And that was just good. It was really good. But now the latest granddaughter, little Izzy Grace, just the other day, started eating a mayonnaise and banana sandwich. Now, my daughter, Micah, had to send the video up and let me see. She was eating just like her grandpa, mayonnaise and banana. Now, I know a lot of y'all thinking, now, mayonnaise don't go with bananas. Peanut butter does, maybe. And I like peanut butter, too, but it's hard to beat mayonnaise. Now, I don't want to do a commercial here for nobody, but I'm going to, kind of. I love Hellmann's mayonnaise. Now, don't bring me the Bama or none of that stuff. I like Hellmann's mayonnaise. I've been eating Hellmann's for years and years. So that's what I like. So anybody here maybe that's watching this that maybe works for Hellmann's and want to send me some coupons or something, but really I love Hellmann's mayonnaise. But it was great to see that the tradition is carrying on. Now, we got another granddaughter coming, should be here just any day now, we're expecting. And you know, we're going to try to see if she'll eat banana and mayonnaise too when she gets here. I really think she will. I mean, the flavor is just so hard to beat. And you know, I don't know why anybody don't want to try it. If you hadn't ever tried it, go on in your kitchen now and fix you a sandwich real quick, and start out with a small one in case you don't like it, and just see. But I bet you like it. You know, we tried something the other night. My wife and I, we went over shopping, and we kept walking by the meat counter, and I kept seeing these big slabs of salmon. And you know, they look so good. And I like salmon. I like salmon patties too. Now, we've talked about them before on how I love them. But just the baked salmon or grilled salmon, we kept seeing them and we kept looking at them and we kept talking about them. And you know, we went out of the store and didn't buy any. Well, I come home the other day, my wife had been grocery shopping, and she said, Ray, I want you to know I bought us some salmon today. So she brought two different kinds. One of them had a lot of seasoning stuff on it that was already pre-seasoned, and then the regular in which she put seasoning on. So we cooked them both last night and had some noodles with them and some slaw and stuff, you know, and potato salad. It was really good. Anybody that don't like salmon, I mean, you ought to go back and try it again. But we had never really cooked this salmon. We'd cooked the salmon patties, and I'd bought salmon in restaurants a few times. But this was so good just to bake it at home and sit at your table quietly, and nobody coming to ask you if you need anything else. But it was so good. I loved the salmon, and she did too. And you know how much we threw out? We didn't throw any out. We just ate it all because it was so good. But you know, I like to talk about eating. If you see me, you tell I'm so fit and trim, or you think I never eat. But I love to eat. But try you some mayonnaise and banana, and then if you don't like it, try you some baked salmon. It was so good. You know, I seen something last night to me that was so interesting. I'm sure a lot of you remember Harry Reid, the former senator from Nevada. Now, he was up there in D.C. probably 30, 35 years, maybe even 40, a long time. I mean, he was part of the inner circles and had all that. Well, now that he's not a senator, he has come out and saying that the government, of all people now, the government that he was a part of for all these years, has been covering up and hiding the fact that there's UFOs. And now, some people think, what is UFOs? We ain't heard that in so long. Unidentified flying objects. And that's people from other planets. Well, he says the government has been covering that up for years. Now, he was on several committees, and I wonder why he didn't ever expose it when he was actually had a job in D.C. where people might listen to him. But you know, he went all the way back talking about in 1967 when a UFO flew over a missile base, one of these hidden missile bases, and took 10 missiles out of commission. And he says if the president had needed them, he couldn't have used them because this UFO took them out where they wouldn't work. Now, you know, I don't know about you, but if I had a government job getting paid by the government to do all this stuff, and I knew this stuff was going on, wouldn't you want to expose it before you leave office? Now, you know, that's what I couldn't understand why he didn't expose it then. But good old Harry Reid from Nevada. Now, you know, I just don't understand him. I don't know if he maybe been out there in Nevada. And you know, Nevada, you can walk around out there in Vegas and smoke that pot and stuff, and it's legal now. And I just wonder now that he's back at home, maybe he ain't got into some, because UFOs, the government covering them up, took missiles out in 1967, and he's just now wanting to tell us about it. Well, that's interesting. Anyway, everybody has to let that one sink in. If you remember Harry Reid's actions, you may want to let it really sink in. Well, you know, I want to say here today that I am so glad that all the municipal elections are over. Man, we had them here in Morgan County, and I know they was all across the state, where people get vicious in a municipal election. You get people running for mayor and city council against each other. Man, they want to cut each other's throat. Then they'll sit in the same church on Sunday and act like that they friends, and then they go back out and start. All that's so terrible. But anyway, finally, all of these municipal elections got over this past week, runoffs and everything. We're just ready for people to get sworn in now. So if you run for a city council position, or if you run for a mayor and you cut your friend up or your neighbor, go back to him, whether you won or lost, and y'all make up. You got 4 more years for the next race. So, but you know, these little towns and stuff really can't afford for people to be split and divided and fighting each other over a city council seat or a mayor's seat. Go and let's be glad all that stuff's over. You know, I know I am. I'm ready for them to get sworn in, get started on their new term. Some of them starting a new term. Some of them got beat. Some of them going home. But still, whether you won or lost, go and make up with your buddies and get and build your town back up and let everybody be on the same page. You know, I would like to say one more thing. My wife has been videoing my shows since we got started. Well, I've got a new person doing it now. My granddaughter Ellie. She's been on the show with me. Y'all seen her, and she recently was chosen as a videographer for the Priceville High School boys basketball team. So she's going to be doing all of that for us for the school, and so we're glad that she got that. But you know, she really wasn't excited too much about me telling you that. She's okay. Really, what she wanted me to tell you about was her beating me in golf. You know, I mentioned a few weeks ago about wanting to get her in golf and stuff, and we finally had a golf game. And now she'd never been on a course before, and I took her out, and before it was over, she actually had a lower score than me. Now, I don't know if it's maybe I was just showing her too good or whatever, but you know, a lot of times the teachers are better at teaching than they are doing the work. So that's what I'm thinking I am here. I think I'm a better teacher than I'm a golfer. But we're going to have her back on the golf course here pretty soon, and hopefully I can compete with her then. But anyway, you know, a lot's going on this time of year. Fall's nearly here. We're going to have Halloween here for too long. Don't know what'll happen then. But you know, just this time of year, I love it. Fall, it's starting to cool down, not too hot, not even sweating sitting here. So let's just see what happens. Like I say, I appreciate you watching. You know, share this thing with your family, your friends, and anybody you want to. We've said a lot here today though, but the main thing for you to remember is whatever's been said here today, it's just my opinion.